There are several reasons why it would suck to be a hermit crab, and the first one starts before you even look like a crab. You hatch in the ocean as a larva, a drifting speck, basically the seafood version of belly button fluff. Dear watcher, looking at drifting specks with minimal life goals is pretty boring, so I'll feature fully clothed adult hermit crabs while I explain. As mentioned, you're basically floating belly button fluff. And that's a problem, because the ocean is full of things that eat belly button fluff, like fish, octopuses, and seabirds that swoop down. They look at you and see something that doesn't quite resemble a snack, but is passable as seasoning. So you float around in the plankton soup for weeks, molting through awkward larval phases, which basically means you molt your shell layer, grow a little bigger, and instantly become the ocean's special of the day again. Most of your siblings get slurped up by something with gills, so surviving is less about skill and more about not being in the wrong mouth at the wrong time. Just quickly, if you're enjoying this tongue-in-cheek video, you can binge more later in the Fish and Ocean Friends playlist, linked below. If you do make it through the buffet years, you finally transform into a tiny hermit crab and crawl onto land. But you don't have a shell yet, and this is what your tiny, shellless body looks like. You're soft-bodied, defenseless, basically the crustacean equivalent of a guy who forgot his pants at the local pool. And now, lucky you, you've got enemies on both sides of the shoreline. So you need a shell, and fast. But here's the catch. Unlike land and sea snails, you don't grow your own shell. And that detail hurts because, in your opinion, you're so much better than snails. You're agile and nippy, and they glide along with the urgency of outdoor furniture. To make matters a million times worse, the empty shell you're looking for actually will likely belong to a sea snail that died or abandoned it. Nothing says prestige like moving into a used mollusk. Finding the right shell isn't easy. Sometimes the shells are cracked. Sometimes they're the wrong size. Sometimes the stupid snails are still in there, being slow. So you do a nude shuffle along the sand, sniffing around for vacancies, knowing at any moment you could become a seagull's brunch crab cake. If you find a suitable shell, you size it up, prodding and poking until you're sure you can squeeze your squishy body inside. Then you back in, curl around the spiral like you're doing a drunk yoga pose, and boom, you're a homeowner. Once you've got your tiny new digs, you drag it with you everywhere. It's armor, it's housing, it's your portable hidey hole. You live along shorelines, in tide pools, on sandy beaches, basically anywhere that has shells to loot and snacks to nibble. And speaking of snacks, your menu is hardly gourmet. Bits of seaweed, rotting plants, dead fish, random debris. You're nature's janitor, cleaning up the ocean buffet one gross, soggy crumb at a time. Here's another thing that sucks. The shell doesn't grow with you. As you get bigger, your house stays the same size, which means at some point your butt starts hanging out like a plumber with low-rise jeans. And when that happens, it's time to pack up and move shell again. Over the course of your life, you may move into dozens of different shells. It sucks, because you never get to relax. Outgrow your shell, and suddenly you're house hunting again. But it's not just you. At any given moment, there are any number of other hermit crabs who have big butts that cannot lie. So you're in an eternally hot rental market. And it gets worse. Sometimes there aren't enough shells to go around. When that happens, you downgrade to anything vaguely hollow, like bottle caps, broken glass, even a door stopper. Imagine walking through life as the sullen face of beach pollution awareness. Nothing says dignified crustacean like dragging around a shot glass. Then there's the home invasions, which really suck. If a crab likes your shell, they don't politely ask to take photos of your interior fittings for their Pinterest inspo board. then leave. No, they come with claws, confidence, and none of the necessary paperwork to evict you. Ignoring any training they've had on how to have difficult conversations, they go straight to talking with their claws, trying to wrestle and pry you out. If you can stand your ground, great. If not, boom, you're shell-jacked, left standing pantsless in the sand while your ex-apartment scuttles off without you. Comment below, if you were a hermit crab, what would suck or rock the most? And please remember to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a quirky upload.